Being busy really isn't impressive. It's just a socially acceptable way to avoid results. Can we get real for a minute? We live in a world where I'm busy has become a humble brag, but I'm here to tell you it's often just a distraction from what really matters. Hey, welcome back to the Bulletproof Mindset Podcast, where we tackle the tough stuff, life's biggest flops, the skeletons in our closets, and how we can use those failures to fuel a bulletproof life. Wherever you are, however you may be listening today, thank you so much for making us part of your day. I'm Thomas. I'm a certified high performance coach, a former actor, a writer, and a twice divorced dad of daughters who's still figuring out how to love this crazy life better every day. Today's episode hits close to home for me and for, I think, many of you listening. Being busy really isn't impressive. It is a socially acceptable way for us to avoid results. Let's strip this down, this concept. Let's expose the truth behind this hustle and rebuild our mindset from the ground up. Okay? So let me say it again, just for the people in the back. Being busy isn't impressive. It's just avoidance dressed up like productivity. In today's fast-paced society, it's easy to believe that a jam-packed schedule equals success. If I'm busy, that means I'm successful, right? But here's the hard truth. Busyness often keeps us stuck in place, running in circles, hamster on a wheel. People wear their to-do lists like badges of honor. The dad who works late every single night but hasn't had a real conversation with his kids in months. The woman juggling 3 side hustles but avoiding the hard work of dealing with a breakup. Greg McKeown nails it in his book, Essentialism. He says this: if you don't prioritize your life, somebody else will. I know that's a simple statement, but it's so true for every single one of us today. Busyness isn't just about being overwhelmed. It's about distraction. It lets us avoid the tough questions that we each need to ask ourselves in our lives. Who am I now that my marriage is over? What do I really want from this next chapter of my life? Am I running toward my goals or am I running away from my fears? And last one, that can trip me up from time to time. So what happens if we don't break free from the busyness, the trap that being busy is? Well, burnout comes with your baseline. You're constantly overwhelmed, but achieving really little value, very little results at all. Your relationships are going to suffer because while you're busy, time with your kids, your partner, or even yourself, it slips away so much easier. Life passes you by, and those dreams you've been buried under the bed, well, they're there for life now because of this hustle. They gather dust. I want you to take Susan, a client of mine, mother of 2. She packed her calendar with work meetings, social events, endless obligations because she felt like that was what would fulfill her. But she missed her son's championship game because of a last-minute client call. She was there. She was in the stands, but she was behind the gallery taking a phone call when her son was actually at bat with the game on the line. That realization, when she came out and saw that he had hit the game-winning run, driven it in, and she missed it, that was her brick wall. She had let busyness steal a moment that mattered and a moment she could never get back. If you don't fix this right now, you're going to wake up one day and you're going to realize you were busy for years and you were empty where it counts. Hey, it's Thomas. And if this episode resonates with you, I want to make sure you know about our free community. Becoming Bulletproof. It's a free community built for people just like you, people that feel stuck in the shadow of past failure or struggling just to move forward after setbacks and challenges in life. Maybe you've struggled to find a place where you can finally reclaim your identity or rebuild the confidence you've lost or find that resilience to thrive. This isn't just a community group. This is meant to be a movement, a transformative space where men and women can redefine who they are and break free from those limiting beliefs and develop habits and skills necessary to create the life they love. In Becoming Bulletproof, you're going to discover how to turn pain into power and setbacks into stepping stones. You'll find tools to build emotional resilience and clarity and confidence, even practical strategies for setting boundaries and mastering time management. I mean, who doesn't need that? Forming habits that fuel long-term growth? Bring it. Most importantly, you're going to find a community that's got your back. Every step of the way, we're going to share stories and celebrate wins together, hold each other up when we need that support to move forward. So, if you're ready to stop letting your past define who you are today and start living that creation of a future you deserve, well, this is your moment. This is your step. Join Becoming Bulletproof today. It's free and it's waiting for you. So go to becomingbulletproof.info right now and sign up for that free community. Let's do this. Together we can become bulletproof. Join today. You know, for years, I wore busyness like armor. It protected me from a lot of things in my life that I didn't want to face, or I didn't really have what I felt at the time I needed to face those things. I used meetings, just going through emails in my inbox, projects that were never done, hustle, hustle, hustle. I did think that these things made me important because they were important to me, and I was an integral part of the process to any of these things to really make them happen. But really, I was avoiding the hard stuff, rebuilding after my second divorce, facing my own insecurities and figuring out what it meant to be present as a dad. In those early days after my second divorce, I just filled my time with so many busy things to keep me from facing the one thing that I really needed to work through, and that was my own grieving. It wasn't until I slowed down a little bit and cut out the noise and prioritized my energy and my time alone, even my time with my two daughters, that's when things started to change. I built stronger relationships with each one of them because I found that being present in their lives in those moments was what they needed. They didn't need perfection. They didn't need all the answers. They didn't even need me to ask the questions. They were dealing with the situation in their own way. And what they really were starved for was just my presence. I also found clarity in my work. Finally started living with purpose instead of just surviving the day-to-day grind. That's when I started to get in shape again, and I started to walk and I started to work out and eat right. You know, letting go of busyness wasn't easy for me. It was essential to reclaiming my identity, that post-challenge person that I was then. And that set up the stepping stones for what came next and what was after that. And then after that, busyness robs us from trajectory changing moments that we need to be all in on, focused, attentive, present. And if we miss just one of those, imagine not just then, but imagine 5, 6, 7, 8 steps or chess moves down the board of life. And we look back and try to figure out what got us into the mess that we're currently in. And we're going to recognize that it was those moments that we should have been present, that we should have been more present and less busy. So I'm going to share 3 points today And these are supporting points about busyness and how we can overcome those temptations and distractions to just fill our lives and our cup and our capacity with busyness. Point number one, busyness can be a mask for avoidance. The greatest danger in life is not that we aim too high and miss, but that we aim too low and hit. It's a quote by Peter Drucker. One of my favorite quotes, and it has really come back to haunt me a number of times in my life. I'm going to read it again. The greatest danger in life is not that we aim too high and miss, but that we aim too low and hit. Where are our expectations of ourselves? What's the standard that we want to live by? What's the standard that we want our children to see as an example for them? Are we just hitting low because we know we can clear that level and it's easy? Is that why we've given up on that dream that we've had and that goal that we've had for years? And we've got to keep busy just to keep from going crazy? Another client of mine, Mark, is a mid-level executive. He filled every waking minute with some form of a meeting. This guy, he mastered the process of meetings. His calendar was full 2, 3, 4 weeks out, but his marriage was falling apart. Busyness was his mask, hiding the fear of confronting what wasn't working at home. When he finally stopped running and he sought counseling and advice and coaching, he invested time in his relationship. Things started to turn around. It was touch and go for a long time, and it took a lot of work. But he did turn it around when he put down the busyness and made his partner the meeting that was non-negotiable. Point number two, prioritization creates real impact. Saying yes to one thing means saying no to something else. I want you to take out a piece of paper right now and a pencil or a pen, and you can pause this and come back to it here in a moment, but I want you to write down just focus on today. Write down all the things you have to do today, all the things that are important, all the things that come to your mind. Don't prioritize them yet, just write them down. Now that you've got them written down, I want you to go down that list and circle 2 non-negotiables on that list. Is there anything on that list that has to be done today? No way around it. You need to get it done today. If there are just 1 or 2, circle those. Sometimes when we list things out and we look at everything that's on our plate, everything we think is on our plate, we recognize how busy we can be. But when you start to really call out those things that you can do and replace them with what you should do, you're going to find to be much more productive, much less busy. And even then, even when the day is over and all you got done was the one thing you needed to get done, you still feel like today was a success. Julia, a friend of mine, she's a small business owner. She felt like she was drowning in responsibilities. She learned to delegate and focus only on the high impact tasks, things that really moved her business forward. The result was that she got a 40% increase in her revenue in 1 year, just simply by cutting out all the things she can do and focusing every day on what she should do. Prioritization works. My mentor, Brendan Burchard, calls this daily prioritized activity. When you prioritize one thing over everything else every single day and make that your habit and that your skill that you develop over time, it becomes habitual. And that's what will drive you forward into success. Prioritization works. It's not about doing more. It's about doing what matters most. One phrase that I use a lot with my clients is this: learn to do less better. Learn to do less better. We all want to do less, right? Wouldn't it be great if we only had a couple of things to do? Well, you do. Most of the things on your to-do list, and you're looking at it right now, I guarantee you, if you are honest with yourself, most of the things on that list can wait. There's one, maybe two of those things that are non-negotiable. They are priority. They need to be done now. Do them first. Focus on what matters most. Point number 3. Simplifying your schedule will increase your clarity. I cannot underline this point enough. Listen, if you're like me, if it's not on my calendar, it is very unlikely that it's going to get done. I'm just being honest. If it's not on my calendar, I'm probably not going to prioritize. It's not priority enough for it to be on my calendar. It's not a high enough priority for me to actually consider putting my time there. But you look at your calendar, and sometimes your calendar has more stuff to do than there are hours in the day. Simplifying your schedule will increase the clarity around what's most important, what matters. And everyone listening to me, I want you to hear this. Nothing's more important, nothing's higher priority than the relationships that you have in your life. Specifically, the relationships with your family, with your partner, with your children. If anything else is prioritized higher than them on a regular basis, you can pretty well guarantee that there are issues that you have at home, whether you know about them or not. Simplicity boils down to 2 steps. Step number 1 is identify the essential and eliminate the rest. Step number 2. Really simple when we talk about it, but you know, Thomas, you don't know my life. You don't know everything I've got on my list. I've got a to-do list a mile long. You don't understand. Everybody listen up. I have 5 daughters. I understand. I have lots to do on my to-do list, and it becomes more and more important for each of those relationships that I have in my life, with my children, with my partner, for me to identify the essential and eliminate the rest. Circle that non-negotiable that's on your list. Everything else can wait. Everything else can wait. I made a personal decision. This was about 9-10 months ago. Work stops at 6 p.m. Evenings became sacred for my daughters, for my partner. We talk, we connect. Sometimes we'd watch a show. Sometimes we'd play a game. Our bond grew because of that. Now, not every day did this happen. There are some times when work did cloud into those times, but they were the priority. And it had to be a pretty big exception for that time to be spent doing anything else. Sometimes simplicity isn't about productivity. It's about being present. If you're not present, it's not a priority. You have to be present in the room, in the conversation, at the table, for those things to be a priority. If today's episode hit home with you, I've got something special I want to give to you for tuning in today. It's my free book, The Bulletproof Mindset, packed with real strategies to help you rebuild and redefine and reclaim your identity in your life. It's perfect for anybody that's navigating life after a divorce, a loss, a failure of any kind, just a life challenge. You're going to learn how to cultivate clarity. You're going to be able to boost your energy, summon courage, and even build influence through some of these steps that I lay out in this book. These are the pillars of the bulletproof life. Okay, let me list them again. Clarity, energy, courage, productivity, and influence. Those are the 5 pillars of the bulletproof life as we teach it here. I want you to head over to this site and just download this book as my free gift to you. You can find it at the bulletproofmindset.co/ebook-mindset. I know that's a mouthful. Let me say it again. bulletproofmindset.co/ebook Mindset. Grab your free copy right now. It's time to stop being busy. Start being intentional. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on YouTube or wherever you get podcasts, and follow us on YouTube and Instagram at This Bulletproof Life. We also have that free community group that is growing every single day. Lots of training there, lots of support there, and that's Becoming Bulletproof. You can find all of these resources at becomingbulletproof.info/resources. I encourage you to get involved, and let's take the first step in beginning your journey toward resilience right now, today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And just remember this, being busy isn't impressive. It's just that socially acceptable way for you to avoid results that you need to get to in your life. Share this episode with somebody who needs to hear it today, and let's help more people live a life worth remembering. Stay strong, stay intentional, and keep building that bulletproof life, everybody. Have a great day.